Hello, good evening to all. Myself is Shika Maheshwari and I am here to explain my topic spleen. So, first of all, we understand what is spleen. So, spleen is the largest lymphoid organ in the body which is connected to the blood vascular system, or we can say that it is a hemolymphoid organ. Function: to filter blood by removing worn out RBCs and microbial agent from the circulation, to manufacture RBCs in the fetal life and lymphocytes after birth, to provide immunity to the body by producing antibodies IgM by plasma cells, and to store RBCs and release them in circulation when required. So now its location. It is located in the left hypochondrium, partly in the epigastric between the fundus of the stomach and the diaphragm, behind the mid-axillary line, opposite to the 9th, 10th, 11th rib. Color is purple in color. In shape, mostly the shape of a spleen is wedge shape, 44%, but other two shapes are tetrahedral, which is 42%, triangular 14%. Measurements: its length is 5 inch, breadth is 3 inch and thickness is 1 inch. Weight 7 ounce, which is equals to 80 gram. Surface projection: its long axis correspond to the 10th rib, its upper border correspond to the 9th rib and its lower border correspond to the 11th rib. External features: it consists of two ends, which is anterior and posterior, three borders, superficial, inferior and two surfaces, diaphragmatic and visceral, and two angles. Firstly is anterobasal. It is the angle at the junction of superior border with the anterior end, and posterobasal, it is the angle at the junction of the inferior border with anterior end. And anterobasal angle is clinically angle of spleen because it is felt when the spleen is enlarged. Now we study the particular external features of the spleen. Ends: anterior end is broad and is more like a border, and posterior end is blunt and rounded. Borders: we studied three borders: superior border, inferior border and intermediate border. So firstly, superior border, it is thin and convex and it separates the visceral surface to the diaphragmatic surface, and it is characteristically present one or two notches. It means one or two notches are present on the superior border. And inferior border, it is rounded and blunt and it corresponds to the lower border of the 11th rib. Now intermediate border, it is rounded on the visceral surface. It extends from the hilum to the medial end and it separates the gastric area from the renal area. Now surfaces. We studied two surfaces, diaphragmatic surface and visceral surface. So firstly, diaphragmatic surface. It is smooth and convex and directed upward, backward and to the left. Visceral surface, it is concave and irregular. It represents four impressions, that is, four impressions are present on the visceral surface. Firstly, gastric impression, renal impression, colic impression and pancreatic impression. So firstly, gastric impression, it is produced by the fundus of the stomach. And gastric impression is the largest impression of all these four impressions. It lies between superior and the intermediate border. Renal impression, it is produced by the left kidney and lies behind the gastric impression. It lies between the intermediate and the inferior border. Thirdly, colic impression, it is produced by the left colic flexure and it is triangular in shape and situated in front of the lateral end. Now pancreatic impression, it is occasionally present and formed by the tail of the pancreas. Now we will study the relation of the spleen. So basically there are two relations of peritoneal relations and the visceral relations. So firstly, peritoneal relation. Spleen is completely enclosed in the peritoneum except at its hilum, from where two peritoneal folds extend. One to the stomach, which is known as the gastrosplenic ligament, and one to the kidney, which is known as the lineorenal ligament. So firstly, we will study gastrosplenic ligament. It extends from the hilum of the spleen to upper 1/3 of the greater curvature of the stomach, and it contains short gastric veins. Lienorenal ligament. It extends from the hilum of the spleen to anterior surface of the left kidney, and it contains firstly tail of the pancreas, splenic vessels, and pancreatico-splenic lymph nodes. Secondly, the spleen relation, visceral relations of the spleen. It is related to following structures: tail of the pancreas, anterior surface of the left kidney, left colic flexure, and fundus of the stomach. Now we will study the arterial supply, venous supply, lymphatic drainage, nerve supply of the spleen. So firstly, arterial supply. The spleen is supplied by the splenic artery. It is the largest branch of the celiac trunk. It transverses through the lienorenal ligament to reach near the hilum of the spleen, where it divides into 5 or more branches which enters the spleen through its hilum and then supplied to it. Now, venous supply. The venous blood from the spleen is drained by the splenic veins, which is formed at the hilum of the hilum by the union of 5 or more tributaries, and these tributaries are short gastric veins, left gastroepiploic vein, pancreatic vein, and inferior mesenteric vein. These are the tributaries of the splenic vein, where these tributaries are formed at the hilum of the spleen. Now, lymphatic drainage. The splenic tissue has no proper lymphatics. The tissue fluid formed in the spleen freely enters the venous sinusoids. Nerve supply. It is supplied by the sympathetic fibers which are derived from the celiac plexus. Now we will understand the development of the spleen. It develops between the two layers of the upper part of the dorsal mesogastrium from a number of condensation of the mesenchymal cells. Means this spleen. Now the development of the spleen. It develops between the two layers of the upper part of the dorsal mesogastrium from a number of condensation of the mesenchymal cells, and these separate masses of mesenchymal cells, splenenculi, fuse together to form the lobulated spleen. This indicates the lobulated development of the spleen. So here the masses of the mesenchymal cells, which we can call as the splenenculi, fuse together to form the lobulated spleen. So we can say that the development of the spleen is lobulated. Now, accessory spleen. The failure of the fusion of the splenenculi results in the formation of the accessory spleen. These are usually found in the derivatives of the dorsal mesogastrium, which is the gastrorenal ligament, the lienorenal ligament, in greater omentum, or rarely found in the left spermatic cord and in the broad ligament of the uterus. So the condition of the accessory spleen occurs when these splenenculi fails to form, which results in the accessory spleen. Now, the clinical importance of the spleen. Firstly, the palpation of the spleen. Normally the spleen we cannot palpate, but when it is enlarged more than the double of its size, it becomes palpable at the left costal margin. Splenomegaly. Splenomegaly is the enlargement occurs in the number of diseases. So splenomegaly is the enlargement of the spleen, and the enlargement of the spleen occurs when there is any kind of disease. So some common cases of splenomegaly are firstly the malaria, cirrhosis of the liver, chronic myeloid leukemia, and kala azar. Splenectomy. Splenectomy is the surgical removal of the spleen, and removal of the spleen does not impair the immune response seriously. So thank you very much. Hope you all understand the anatomy of the spleen.